Good morning and welcome. Ah, I don't wake up easily when it's cold like this. All right, we are coming to you live from beautiful downtown Crestline in the San Bernardino Mountains of Southern California's Inland Empire. It's cold. It's all right. I forgot to tell the phone to be quiet. Let's see. Let's tell you to be quiet, and then let's just check. Uh, okay, the phone claims that it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit out there. Let's check my thermometer and see what it is in the house. Uh, yeah, about 49, which is cold. Room temperature is 72. Anyway, uh, I hurt my left arm somehow. Um, I don't recall any kind of injury, but I was holding a clipboard and working a crossword puzzle, and my arm started hurting. My left arm, which was holding the clipboard. And even after a good night's sleep, it's still kind of hurting. Not just the shoulder, but also the elbow and everything in between. And the cold weather doesn't help. I have arthritis and I'm old. Well, hi, Dorothy. Welcome in. Yeah, you have a beautiful day, too. I'm sure if I just take it easy today, my arm will recover. It's working. It's kind of painful to use it, but I'm able to, get my coffee, refill the steam vaporizer with more water. And of course, open a can of cat food for the kitties. They want out, but I don't want to open the door. It's cold out there. It's cold in here. I'm not firing up the heater just yet because of the cost of heating the house. But, we have real winter here, so in a month or so, it will become really cold. Snow and ice cold. So I'll have to fire up the heater. Meanwhile, I did kind of warm up the bathroom with a little space heater. And I have the hot steam vaporizer going. We don't have much humidity here, so it's good to have some moisture in the air in the house. And of course, I want warm, hot moisture. Makes me feel warmer. Today I will be getting into a book that Freeman sent me. It's a role-playing game called Matrix. I don't have anyone to play with. It has taken years and changing of the guard to get the local seniors club to have bingo games. I love bingo. So, anyway, I'm still a little shivery. I must have slept 12 hours last night. I was really tired, worn out, just from puttering around. Oh, Dorothy's in New York. It's cold there. And has arthritis. Yeah, arthritis is painful, but this thing with my arm is extra painful. I think it's a muscle thing. Well, I'm glad you love my videos. I'm always amazed how people enjoy just sitting around and chatting. Someday I will figure out how to have a guest on. I think I have to go through another app, something like Zoom. I don't know. I'm not exactly a Luddite, but I'm not really into the way technology changes so often. And as soon as I learn to use one computer program, everybody else gives it up and uses the new and shiny one. The news this morning is that some people, about 20 people who attended a Trump rally. Oh, hi, Morgan. Welcome in. Anyway, about a week ago, Trump held a rally in Tucson, Arizona, and about 20 people have symptoms of being, I don't know, of encountering some kind of acid. One woman actually went to her doctor because her eyes were burning and she had other problems, and the doctor said it looked like a chemical burn. I don't know. The 20 people who were affected were all sitting in the section nearest to where Trump entered, is in the news. That would have been before the second attempt to shoot the orange man. I don't know. The whole thing is bizarre. It's like we're in a Kafka novel. I did promise Freeman that I would take a look at the book that he sent me on today's video. But first, let's mention the fires that hit Southern California recently. I haven't heard much about the airport fire down in Orange and Riverside counties. But if no news is good news, that means it's under control. The fire here, the line fire, is still going, but close to half contained and not threatening any structures. People's homes are safe. It's out in the forest where nobody lives. The bridge fire of Mount Baldy and Wrightwood apparently is they've got a handle on it, and the evacuation of Wrightwood has been lowered to just a warning and not an order. But in these areas, it's standard for only residents to be allowed back in. So if you're evacuated during a fire and you want to come back in when only residents are allowed, you need to grab a utility bill, water, gas, electricity, or even trash pickup, something with your street address on it, and preferably your own name. Although some people split things, like one person in the house has the electricity, a different one has the, I shouldn't say phone, they've kind of done away with landlines. Well, another one has the water, and maybe even a third one has the gas. But you need to, if you want back in and your driver's license doesn't have your street address, like many of us up here on the mountain, our driver's licenses have our post office boxes, not our street addresses, because the mail does not come to the house up here on the mountain. But a utility bill, even though it's addressed to the post office, it will list the street address. Your mortgage statement or rental agreement will also have your street address. Whoa, these cats are going wild. They want out, but not yet, guys. I don't open the door before 9 in the morning, and today it might be 10 or 11 because it's cold. By the way, I'm sitting on my heating pad on Great Granny's rocking chair. Tora is on her heating pad on her kitty cat condo. Aren't you? Yes. She's kind of in the dark. I don't think I can get her on camera. I could turn on some light, but that usually disturbs her and then she moves. Smokey Sue and Tutu, knock it off. They're growling and wrestling. There are some things that a cat should do outside, and that's one of them. All right. Oh, man, my arm is bothering me. But let's take a look at Freeman's book, Matrix. I unboxed it in a previous video. I still haven't really read much of it, and I'm in the dark here. But the back cover says, "Reality is for those who lack imagination. Connect to the worldwide net known as the Matrix and create a universe of your own. No matter what your status in the real world, megacorp president or synth meat street vendor, you can be the lord of all you can imagine." Access virtual clubs and test your skills in total reality games. ransack massive databases and pillage corporate systems for pay data, and try to stay alive long enough to enjoy the results. Matrix expands on the basic decking rules provided in Shadowrun 3rd edition and offers advanced rules for programming, deck construction, system security, and accessing the Matrix. Matrix includes rules for information searches and new updates on artificial intelligences and otaku characters. Otaku, that's a familiar word. There's a publication, a periodical called PKD Otaku. Otaku is Japanese for fandom, and this publication is dedicated to the work of Philip K. Dick. I have, I don't know, I guess essays, maybe stories in a couple editions. Yeah, there are some, as Hayat Sequentia, welcome in. There are some nutcases who are happy when their political opponent suffers in some way. I'm not one of them. I feel like we are in a matrix, and I don't trust the Republican candidate, but I know what we have with the Democrats, and I don't like it. 4 years ago, everything was cheaper. I had considerably less income, but I could buy more with it than I can buy now. And then it started getting, if you said the wrong thing on social media, you got punished for it. Personally, I had one YouTube video taken down. Oh, hi, Jason. Welcome in. Good morning. Apparently, I had talked about my experience with a certain medical procedure a few years ago. I got the shot and I discussed what happened to me afterward. And the video was taken down and I was issued a severe warning that never expires. I don't seem to have any problems on Facebook or Twitter, but I rarely use Twitter, and my Facebook page is mostly for local events. and well, that's a group that I started for locals here. My personal page is mostly just what's happening to me here, or jokes, various jokes that I share, or news like I'm in no danger from the fire. Never was really. They issued a evacuation warning, which means be ready to leave if we order an evacuation. And many people will leave during the warning for various reasons. They think it's a good idea not to wait till the last minute. Health, age, disability, or they can smell the smoke, and just breathing in smoke is bad for you. I'm having a bad morning. So don't fuss at me about cigarettes being bad for me. I've breathed in smoke from the fire. I got my inhaler. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it's stuck. That's better. I still have a sore throat from all that smoke. YouTube didn't tell me anything about why they warned me. They did tell me what time in the video I said something, and it was just my personal experience. I didn't offer medical advice. I didn't get into the science. I just said this happened to me. That was, by the way, if I remember correctly, the video was 2 years old when they tagged it with the warning and took it down. Yeah, it's Kafka's The Trial, definitely. You see, when I originally posted it, that would have been 2020. Then the new regime came in, and then about 2 years later, they took it down and issued the warning. And since the warning never expires, if I do one thing wrong, just one, everybody who doesn't have a warning gets 2 chances. If I do one thing they don't like, they take me down for a week. No access to YouTube. And I still don't know what would trigger such a thing. It is the trial. You're punished for breaking the law, but you never know what the law is. I think they make it up after you do something. There used to be a comic strip in the Sunday Funnies called There Ought to Be a Law, and it would show humorous situations that involve people doing something stupid. Kind of reminds me of that. The things that are not illegal but just dumb. Well, anyway, It's just what it is, and we hope to get change. I'm wondering, though, how a 60-year-old woman can say she's the new generation. I'm wondering how someone who's in power now says she'll change things from what we have now. You know how you can tell that a politician is lying? His lips are moving. Let me see. Humph. Looks like everybody left except at Sequentia, unless YouTube is lying again. Anyway, yeah. Phil, my husband, Philip K. Dick. Oh, now I have 4 people watching. Okay. Anyway, he had a personal copy of The Trial and The Castle, 2 Kafka books. I was reading The Castle, but I lost my place and never could find it again because the same text is repeated over and over. He's walking through the snow. He meets a woman. He wants to enter the castle, but apparently he never gets there. Yeah, as far as politics go, I'm disgusted by all of them. Jason is here. I see you. Heck, I hate mornings, but it's when I have a decent internet connection. I used to be a night owl and I could go on like at 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. But lately I've been falling asleep by 10 p.m. I think it was night before last I managed to stay up and do a nighttime chat, and Jason was here along with some others. That was nice. I wish I could do all late night live streams, because then people in other countries, like somewhere in Europe or Australia, would be, just starting their day, or it would be afternoon for them. But, oh well. It is what. So apparently this Matrix book that Freeman sent me is about how to go online and create your own universe. Begins by describing the Matrix world, and then it has all kinds of instructions for creating your own Matrix world where you get to be in charge. I don't have time for this. I think that the wealthy and powerful elite are gaslighting us all the time. Don Lemon interviewed some people on the street, just random people asking, who will you vote for? And he asked one of them, well, why are you voting for Trump? And he said, well, when Trump was president, I was better off economically. And Don Lemon said, that isn't true. The economy's really great right now. And I'm thinking, really great for whom? Not for ordinary working people and retired people and those who are struggling for various reasons. If you think the economy is so good, I want you to put some gas in your car and buy some groceries and then tell me what you think. Of course, the elites don't drive their own cars or shop for their own groceries, so how would they know? You could double the price of food and gas again, and it wouldn't hurt them financially. Problem is, in most cases, we don't know who they are. We hear about George Soros and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. They are not at the top. Even George Soros is not at the top. He's a tool of someone who has power over him. Oh, wow. So we hear about all these agencies. There's the European Union. There's, I can't think of the names of them. The George Soros thing and the International Political Club, probably run by the Rockefellers. It's bad enough that someone sitting at a desk in Washington, D.C. wants to tell me how to run my life in California. But some guy in Basel, Switzerland, or I can't remember the name of the town. Well, someone in Belgium wants to tell all Americans how to lead our lives? I'm sorry. No, you don't know what our life is like. You don't experience it, and you don't even see it. Yes, Jason, calling you names is, it means they don't have a good, solid argument. Well, have a great day at work, Jason. Conspiracy theory was coined to mock the people who doubted the official story of the JFK assassination. Most Americans at least had an inkling that there was something wrong with the official story that Oswald shot Kennedy. And then what's his name shot Oswald. But oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. There are no conspiracy theories, there are just theories and suspicions. Wow, YouTube held one of Jason's comments in the chat? Humph. Well, thank you for approving it, Etsy Quintia. This is why I have mods in the chat, because I miss things. Hello, Inquisition News. Welcome in. Yes, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, and against the worldly governors, the princes of the darkness of this world. Which translation is that? It's close to the King James, but not quite the same. The first line, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, should give you a clue that the enemy is not human. It's a spiritual thing. Oh, Geneva, 1599. Wow, I've never seen that one. You can buy it, but it might be available online for free. We're in a spiritual battle, and it's more and more difficult to identify who's the good guys and who's the bad guys. For example, a wealthy and powerful elite person might not be evil, but is being influenced by an evil spiritual force. I recommend that you stay prayed up. Prayer is powerful. Even if you don't see the results, you can trust God. As someone said recently, in America, we don't worship the government. We worship God. Whatever your religion, God is at the top. Oh, shoot. Hi, sweetie. Sweetie wants her treats. I wonder if I can get her on camera. Yeah, she's kind of in the dark still. I don't have good lighting in this house, and I've tried, but I need to try more and better. Where's the kitty cat treats? Here's one. Kitty cats. Yes, Smokey Sue, you are an a-hole. She really is. She's the cat who moved in without asking. And I'm beginning to understand why her humans moved out and left her here on her own. Do that. When you adopt a pet and there's a problem, you deal with it and improving. For example, when I give another cat some treats, she used to just run up and beat up the other cat and eat all the treats. Now she waits for her turn. Oh, hi, 3C. You're late to the party. You want some treats, 3C? All right. I gotta give all the cats treats now because I gave some to 3C. There's Tutu and Sweetie and Tora, Smokey Sue and 3C. I did not want 5 cats. I was happy with 2 cats. Sweetie and Tora. Sweetie was born here to a feral mother. About 16 years ago, I managed to trap her and get her spayed so she wouldn't make more kittens. Tora, I chose Tora because her humans had to flee in the middle of the night due to a domestic situation. And they cared enough about their kitty cat to go on Facebook and ask if anyone could adopt her because they couldn't take her with them. There are evil forces in this world. It is not a perfect world. And I think it really is a matrix in many ways. Most of our information used to come from the television. Now it comes from the internet. Newspapers are struggling. Up here on the mountain, we have 2 local weekly newspapers. I'm partial to the one that's in Crestline where I live. And I know some of the reporters and columnists, and they run the New York Times crossword puzzle in their weekly newspaper. The Sunday puzzle, but it comes out on Wednesday or Thursday here. If you have home delivery or you buy it at the local market, you can get it on Wednesday. If you have it mailed to you, you get it on Thursday. Oh, Freeman finally showed up. Welcome in, Freeman. I've been looking at your book, the book you sent me, Matrix. I think it's more than I have time for. Going online and creating a world. I'm so far behind on everything that's already on my plate. Oh well. So we've had 2 attempts on the Republican candidate. The second one didn't look very professional. The guy had equipment, but he didn't have the knowledge and skill. The first one apparently wanted to be famous. The second one appears to have political motivation. And then at last week, about many people who attended last week in Tucson, Arizona, have symptoms of chemical burns. Yeah, the pictures are cool. The pictures in the book, Freeman. here's one. What does that say at the top? It isn't a word, it's just a design. The guy is putting together computer equipment. Yeah, I know the book has a lot of pictures within. Oh yeah, yesterday they found a blue barrel filled with something bad in a parked car near the New York event. Forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me, Freeman. And despite all the mistakes that Secret Service has made, these plots are failing. I think it's either God or another higher power that's protecting someone. Yeah, very bad copies of the Manchurian Candidate. I really liked the ending of that movie when I finally got to see it. I was too young to see it when it was in theaters, and it was taken down when JFK was shot. So it wasn't available for at least a decade, I think more than that. That was also one of Angela Lansbury's best performances as the guy's mother. Wow. I'm supposed to receive a something for that book. I'm just gonna scoot it up. I can't. Oh, a check? Oh, well. Yeah. There are lots of things they should have paid us for, but they didn't. It might be different if Phil were alive. But he isn't. Anyway, whatever. I'm convinced, have been for, well, not just years, but decades, that Phil was set up and brainwashed and eventually killed by people who thought he was a big danger to them. And he wasn't. But he became their enemy because they were harassing him. But you know, even early in his writing career of the novel The Penultimate Truth shows a bit more truth than the wealthy and powerful elites would like. It revealed that the war was not real and it was simply to benefit the elites, that people would get all patriotic and go ahead and do without and work really hard for the war effort when they were really just enriching the wealthy and powerful elites who were already rich, providing them with products and services while they suffered. Let's see. 78, let me think. 2 and 70, yeah. He would have been 78 in 06. I don't know. He was a lifelong Democrat, liberal, etc., when the liberals were defenders of freedom of speech. Smokey Sue and Tutu, knock it off, you guys. Smokey, quit. Smokey gets Tutu going, and then they... Smokey, you're an asshole. Knock it off. I'll get the squirt bottle. Cats hate being squirted with water. But Phil knew there was something wrong with too much power in high places. He knew that this world was being, if not ruled, at least strongly influenced by people who did not have our best interests at heart. And in his speech in Metz, France, I think they pronounce it Metz, M-E-T-Z. It's actually a German word, and it's in the Alsace-Lorraine Valley, where Germany and France have fought over possession for centuries. Even before there was a Germany. Places like Bavaria wanted that rich land where the best wine grapes are grown. I don't know why I said born. Anyway, he talked about a computer-generated reality. And that was before people had computers in their homes. It was before the home computers existed. The computers that the bank used, they were just beginning to use computers instead of pencil and paper. The bank's computer would be downtown and take up an entire floor of a building. Each branch bank would have a little device that communicated with the computer, a data input device. So In the middle of the night, the workers would process your checks. They would enter the account number, the amount, and all that in their device, and it would go over telephone lines to the computer in the downtown office. And that was when they began telling account holders, oh, the computer doesn't make mistakes. Yes, but the humans entering the data do make mistakes. One time I got a bank statement that included 3 checks, 3 canceled checks that were not on my statement. And fool that I was, I took it to the bank and asked them, what was going on, and the teller grabbed those checks real fast, so I couldn't take them back because they had not been entered in the computer, and they had to enter them or I would keep the money and have the canceled checks. Well, actually, I don't think that would have been good for me because the bills that I paid would not be paid. Pretty sure that would have been trouble for me. The playwright Arthur Miller, at Sequentia says, also believed that Senator McCarthy was a fascist for the House something on, the communist investigation in the House of Representatives and the blacklisting of Hollywood. Well, that really got out of hand because some people who didn't like what he was doing fed him false information and he believed it and acted on it. I mean, I don't care if some actor is a communist. I really don't care. Senator Bernie Sanders is a communist. He says so. I don't care. But I especially don't care about Hollywood actors. Oh, what year was Penultimate Truth released? I don't remember. Early 60s. It was probably right after The Man in the High Castle. Phil would say that he wrote 6 novels in 6 weeks, but what he did was take short stories and unpublished manuscripts and cobble them together. Hi, Pio. Welcome in. Well, anyway, when you get all your information from the major media, MSNBC, CNN, even Fox, you're getting your daily dose of propaganda. For example, a reporter asked, "Will you be a dictator?" And the answer was an obvious joke. Only on the first day. And now all you hear is he's going to be a dictator from the first day. That isn't what he said. Oh, work, Pio. Work sucks, but it's good for you. It gives you a sense of value. That what you do every day matters. Oh, Pio's comment was held for review. Oh, yeah, you gotta eliminate that word. That's a bad word. Incompetence, huh? Well, if you aren't doing it right, and they tell you you aren't doing it right, they should tell you how to do it right and not just give you a bunch of smack. That's ridiculous. Next time, ask them to show you how to do it right. Even if you don't actually take their advice, ask for it. Make them feel important and valuable, and they'll like you a lot better. Oh, man. Yeah, well, I'm worried about radicals on both sides. And I have some experience with the radical right from back in the dark ages of the 1960s. They were ready to go to war against the government. They were not good people. And then I think it was 88, 87 or 88. This guy who was both drunk and whacked out on speed, drugs, at the same time, did a home invasion at the house next door. He was a Ku Klux Klan biker and held the rank of sergeant. Totally wacko. And he had been a gunsmith who lost his license, not because he made a machine gun, but because he didn't register the machine gun. So, yeah, that's kind of dangerous. And I have no respect for the KKK anyway. Oh, and the Orange Man has specifically condemned neo-Nazis and white supremacists. He says they're scum. Freeman doesn't have Etsy Quintia's email address. Well, if you tell you what, Freeman, you email your email address to me and I'll send it to Etsy Quintia and he can decide about communicating with you. And well, it turns out that Trump gets a lot of sun exposure because he plays golf so often. So he has this cream that he puts on his face to undo the sun damage, and it makes his skin look orange. But the media started calling him the Orange Man. This time I'll try to remember that it's Etsy Quintia who wants Freeman's email. Last time it was Witta, and I couldn't remember who it was. Witta is having a lot of trouble because she and her two sons are all disabled. Adult sons, by the way. So they must depend on government aid. And government aid sucks. It is not designed to lift you up. It is designed to keep you down. They give you just enough that you won't die. Oh, good for you, Pio, working on a facility for disabled people. That's a good thing. Ah, wow. One of the most ridiculous things that LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president, did in the 60s was offer subsidized housing, welfare money, and food stamps for women with children, but she couldn't have a man in the house on the assumption that a man could work and provide for them. I know personally a young man who had just turned 18 but had not finished high school, got a woman pregnant, well, a girl, really, and they went to try to get help from welfare, and they told him to get a job. Didn't even have a high school diploma, had done whatever work he could get, and just wasn't able to support a wife and child. They weren't married at the time, but you know. I advised him to have her go in by herself and say he abandoned her. And she did. And the next day she was in an apartment with all kinds of aid. They were paying all her rent, giving her food stamps and cash, the whole shebang, but she couldn't have a man in the house. And then they had the nerve to bill this 18-year-old for, they wanted him to pay back the welfare people for what they spent on this woman. Well, he had spent every penny he had already for the hospital where his child was born. He even gave up his car. And it's just ridiculous. He didn't have anything. I wrote a letter for him to send to welfare explaining that he'd already paid the hospital and that was all the money he had, and they actually backed off and quit demanding money from him. Yeah, government tears families apart. Now, as far as abortion goes, since it seems to be a hot topic, I really believe the government should stay out of it, because a government that can ban abortion can also require it. And that has happened within the past 100 years here in the United States to women in poverty, women in prison, minority women. In many cases, they were sterilized so they couldn't make more babies without their knowledge or permission. So I think the government should stay out of it, and it should be up to the woman and her doctor, and of course the father. It should not be up to some assembly line clinic that makes all its money from what they do. It should be up to a doctor who knows the woman, has examined the woman, and can give good advice. And the woman herself. But she should get good advice before she decides. Planned Parenthood was originally started to reduce the number of dark-skinned babies in the United States. They still put most of their clinics in minority neighborhoods. Oh, my heating pad turned off. There. Here, it's back on. Oh, there's been required abortion in the EU, Freeman says. That sucks. Well, now, at least here in the US, they don't require it. They just make it a very attractive alternative. Pio never heard of Planned Parenthood? It's a big nonprofit corporation whose business is performing abortions. Yeah, not the Mann Act, Freeman, but it is a crime to take an underage girl to a clinic. Yeah, I never heard about the EU requiring abortion. Maybe it's something they want to do. Yeah. The founder, whose name I keep forgetting, of Planned Parenthood was racist. Her writings, her written statements are all about how we should reduce the population of Black and brown people. She said they were defective in some way. Oh, okay. Yeah, Margaret Sanger, thank you, et sequentia and Inquisition. Yeah, well, Freeman taking a girl to a clinic is not necessarily going across state lines, but it is a crime against a minor child. Yeah, and with DNA testing, they can tell the woman your infant in your belly has a genetic defect. The most common one, of course, is trisomy 21, Down syndrome. I've known people with Down syndrome. They are some of the sweetest and best people. they aren't as intelligent as other people. So what? Do you have to take an IQ test to have a right to live? They are able to lead normal lives, even get married and have children. Hi, Ditch. Welcome in. You see, the promise was that with all this DNA research, they could fix genetic defects and then people would not suffer from them. But instead, it's becoming a reason to get an abortion. Oh, Etsy Quentia has Freeman's address. Excellent. Now they can communicate by email. Shoot. We're not supposed to have winter weather in September, but it does happen sometimes. They claim that starting tomorrow it will warm up, but today it's like, they claim it's 60 degrees, but it feels like 40. And we have been getting wind and rain. Ditch says it's 82, feels like a swamp. Well, I moved up to the mountain to get away from the heat, but we've been having 95 degrees over and over. And one day of cool weather and a little rain felt nice, especially since rain will both prevent and put out fires. But this is getting old real fast. Yeah, IQ is pretty BS. I've had the Stanford Binet IQ test. If you can do basic math and you have a good vocabulary, you can score really high. That isn't intelligence, it's knowledge. And if you haven't been taught or you haven't learned, that doesn't mean you're stupid. And I say that with an established IQ of 160. It's meaningless. That and a $10 will get me a cup of coffee. I just went to some good schools and I did a lot of learning at home just because I wanted to. 63 in Pennsylvania. Huh. I'm right next to Ditch, Inquisition is right next to Ditch. It's a 20-degree difference. Well, PO 115 is well above average. They used to say average was 90. I don't know what they say now, but that would be 25 points higher than average. Ditch has 149. Well, I'm wobbling a little. Mine is 159, but it's easier to say 160. And the only ding I got was I'd never heard of the word deciduous. it describes two things. One is your baby teeth that come out before your permanent teeth are erupting. And the other is a tree that is not an evergreen. I learned the word that day. But you see, that isn't IQ, that's vocabulary. It isn't intelligence, it's learning. Ooh, Pio can do coding and makes 3D art. Cool. Yeah, but you can tell that people with trisomy 21 really are not super intelligent because they can't learn. Smoky Sue, I'm gonna get the squirt bottle. She's misbehaving. You can tell. You can ballpark someone's intelligence by just trying to teach them something and see if they remember it the next day. Or if they can use it the same day that you teach them. Although some people are deliberately. All right, I'm getting the squirt bottle, Smoky Sue. Oh, my owie left arm. Yeah, you. See this? Settle down. Some people are willfully stupid. They refuse to take advice. Like the stupid woman who hacked up my rose bushes when I had specifically told her to leave the roses alone. I needed her to help me pull the weeds. Didn't pull a single weed, just hacked up the rose bushes. Idiot. And she's not stupid, but she's willfully stupid. Oh, what you said was confusing. Really? Leave the rose bushes alone and come over here and pull these weeds? I was paying her. She volunteered to do it, but I was paying. When I told her not to come by anymore because I didn't need her, she sneaked in early in the morning and hacked up the rose bushes some more. So I complained publicly on Facebook, leaving her name out. And she was so insulted that she won't help me anymore. And I said, good. And I've blocked Facebook, but she still has my phone number. She isn't blocked there for text messages or whatever. Well, first off, you don't trim roses in July. And second, you don't start at the bottom and work your way up. All you do with roses is top them. In September, the branches that are going straight up and getting too tall, you trim those off. And you deadhead them, which means to snip off the dead blooms, the dead flowers, so it'll make new ones. I think she's a little insane. She's told me some wild stories about people doing stuff to her and her cats that just don't make sense. And I've talked to other people who know her, and they say the same thing. I don't see how they could do anything to her cats. She keeps them inside. Well, I'm a Californian ditch, but I'm a native, and I've been here long enough to. All right, you guys. The problem is, I think Tutu enjoys fighting with Smokey Sue. I have to refill the bottle. It isn't getting any water. I'll be right back. Smokey Sue. Now it has water. Originally, the whole. Really? Hard. Modem looks good on my end. Okay, I moved the modem. It's this little thing. It's wireless. Okay. What are you cats doing? Smokey, quit killing my pillow. She dumped it on the floor. Quit doing that. I should open the door and let them go out, but I'm not going to. It's only 9:30. Hontora. She knows what I said. She heard magic words. You just stay on your heating pad, kid. Gosh. So anyway, what was I saying? I don't know anymore. Tora, you're a pest. Tora needs her treats. Okay. My left arm is killing me. I don't know what I did to it. I didn't have any injuries, but I was holding a clipboard and working a crossword puzzle. And something I did must have muscles or something. Well, 4 out of 5 cats got treats. Sweetie is still feral. So anyway, yeah, I was saying that some people just willfully refuse to learn. They're right, and what they do is right, and that's that. Even though what they do always fails, they're doing the right thing. It's the whole world is against them. And they know everything. I've learned, but I do know a lot because when I was young, I listened to old people. And old people have a lot of knowledge. Knowledge you won't get from books, from schools, even from teachers. Especially the things of everyday life that make your life better. Ditch says there's a country bar nearby with full of people like that. He likes to go there to do real life trolling. Oh, I guess you mean people who know everything. Yeah, drunk people do tend to know everything. I thought you were saying there were people with great wisdom. I don't know. Anyway, I do appreciate the book that Freeman sent me, Matrix, and I will go through the book and all the cool pictures. But I'm not prepared to go online and invest the time it will take to make my own matrix. Maybe eventually, but I have some important things to do right now. Ditch says some of them have great wisdom. Good. And Pio wants tips on combating inferiority complex and perfectionism. Well, take a deep breath. Stop what you're doing, take a deep breath, and survey the situation. Look around you. Think about it. Should take less than a minute to do all that. Oh, good for you, Ditch, reading a whole book in one day. Well, I used to do that, but they were short books, under 200 pages. Sometimes under 100 pages. Well, some things you can do in a hurry, but then you have to spend time examining it to make sure you did it right. So you're not saving time. But Pio, yeah, slow down a little. Oh, indecision, yeah. Well, slow down is my advice. There have been, on occasion, books so good that I could not put them down, and I even stayed up way past bedtime trying to finish them. One of them was The Robe. I forgot who wrote it. Let's see. The Robe author. And by the way, I never finished it. By Lloyd C. Douglas. Okay. It's a book about a slave whose a Greek slave whose Roman master sends him on a quest, And the slave doesn't know, but one of the things in his kit with food and money and stuff is the paper that gives him his freedom. And I never finished it because my high school closed down and it was their book. I never took it home. But I did finish In Cold Blood by Truman Capote in one day. It's about these two men who commit a horrible murder of an entire family based on a true story. Oh, and when I was in a mountain cabin on a school reunion, very small class, less than 10 people, the only book in the cabin was an ace double. One side was The Mind Monsters. I don't remember the author's name, but I didn't think it was very good. I read it in a couple hours. But the other side was The Unteleported Man by Philip K. Dick. I also read that in a couple hours. It was oh, now my heat pad is too hot. There, turn it down a little. Well, shoot, I'm at an hour and 40 minutes. Oh, my son went to a summer camp at an agricultural school down near San Diego. It's probably gone now. It was called Rawhide Ranch. And the music group Alabama had gone there as children, so they would come on the weekends and play music for the kids. And it says they're playing on the jukebox Carrying On My Wayward Son by Kansas. Huh. Ah. I really like the Celtic Thunder. They're mostly Irish, some Scottish. A musical group. They do concerts all over the place. And they put on a really cool show. They have dancing as well as singing, and they have little stories involving the music. And their stage is well designed and awesome to look at. Oh, yeah, the Blues Brothers playing Rawhide. I used to watch that show on TV when I was a little kid. Cross chattering is fine, Freeman. Yes, Ditch, that is the point of live chats. You give me things to talk about, and I do run out of things to say. And my water's empty, my coffee's almost empty, my tea, little in the coffee, but getting close. And I'm getting hungry. I never used to eat in the morning. I wasn't hungry and didn't want any food. But now my lifestyle is more sedentary. Not completely. I do yard work around the house. But I want some food. I did make a pecan pie last week, but I did not video it. YouTube. I'll be putting the second one on video. But right now I don't have any eggs. It requires eggs. Well, Freeman, you're an influence on me. I wouldn't say it's all bad. But I'm going to do a pecan pie on YouTube, although it's so simple. I've watched half a dozen other people on YouTube making a pecan pie. It really is a big deal. You don't even need your mixer. The edge is as hard as a rock because it's overcooked. But I'll fix that on the second one. And since I still haven't mastered editing, I'm going to leave out the part where I eat a bite. I did promise it to someone. Maybe I'll do a second video where I take one slice out for me and give the rest of the pie to the guy who hauls my trash for me. He refuses to take Freeman. I'll go eat. Thank you all for being here. See if I can see the keyboard well enough. Put my fingers in the right place. I used to do touch typing all the time, but I'm losing the knack. Okay, now I have to finish my type SML. Okay. Caps lock instead of the letter A. I do that all the time. And all is not spelled SLL. Here we go. Got it. So thank you all for being here and have a great day. Yeah, I'll try to stay in the ditch. And I'll see you, I don't know, whenever. Thursday morning, if nothing else. Bye.